All right, Trump is getting ready to speak after, the White House Correspondents' dinner. All right, we're gonna see what he's gonna say. I saw the elder priest, Ash went live, so I thought might as well go live as well. And Shalom, Kola Yabashmel Shai, double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone. All right, we're gonna see what they say about this. All right, like the priest was elaborating on, this was right after camp, and we've been telling you things is gonna heat up through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemel Shai. You know, so the Lord is doing this thing, man. You know, let me grab a quick one real quick. Because ultimately, this is all leading up to one major event, and Esau is getting ready to come down with great wrath. All right, Revelation. All right, Revelation 12 and 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time. So, we've been telling you that this thing was going to heat up. T attacks. A lot of a Black Swan event, EMP. Something crazy is about to go down for them to come down with great wrath, man. All right, so once again, you had real quick. Let me find this real quick. Let me pull this up. All right, here we go. So, and I was just getting these breaking news right when I got home, pretty much. Which there was a shooting, all right, which the president is about to address. All right, and it was supposedly a guy that looks like he's an Israelite, some teacher out of California. All right, this is what they saying he looks like. So we gonna see. We gonna see. This is what they saying he looks like, but we know this is all leading up to persecution. Esau getting ready to come down with great wrath. There's going to be a lot of false flag attacks. So we're going to see the president, see what he's got to say about this whole situation. So let me grab another one real quick. Because you can never believe, never trust your enemy, man. Let me grab this. This is Sirach 12 and verse 10. Never trust thy enemy, for like his iron rusted, so is his wickedness. So you never trust this devil, man. All right, what they put on the media, and the world is a stage. But once again, we know Esau is going to do something where he's going to somehow flip this on the Israelites. Not this situation in general. I'm just saying, like, the Israelites are going to be the problem. They're going to make the Israelites out to be the bad guys. Because persecution is coming. Oh, Cole fucking Allen. Yeah, the guy's, his name was Cole Allen, supposedly. Teacher of the month. Teacher of the month, Cole Allen. That's who supposedly was the shooter was. All right. So we watching this live. Yep. Back to the usual shenanigans of Esau Edom. Sirach 12 and 10, never trust thy enemy, for like his iron rusted, so is his wickedness. And iron rust after time, so Esau, his wickedness is It's showing already, and it's going to show even more in the very near future. All right. So this guy should be coming on live soon. And as I'm watching this, I've been watching this, probably for like 20, 30 minutes now. And they literally setting up a stage, bro. The world is a stage, man. You know, the world is a stage. And once again, never trust your enemy. You know. And the Lord is turning up, man. All right, so let's see what he's about to come on right now. Let's see what this devil got to say, man. We shall see. We shall see. There he goes.
Well, thank you very much. That was very unexpected, but incredibly acted upon by Secret Service and law enforcement. And this was an event dedicated to freedom of speech that was supposed to bring together members of both parties with members of the press. And in a certain way it did, because the fact that they just unified, I saw a room that was just totally unified. It was in one way a very beautiful thing to see. A man charged a security checkpoint armed with multiple weapons, and he was taken down by some very brave members of Secret Service, and they acted very quickly and have just released, for purposes of transparency, clarity, I've ordered it to be put out. You probably have it by now. Put out on Truth and put out on many other platforms. A tape showing the violence of this thug that
lunatic
attacked our Constitution, and also showing how quickly Secret Service and law enforcement acted on our country's behalf. Really did a great job. One officer was shot, but saved by the fact that he was wearing obviously a very good bulletproof vest. He was shot from very close distance with a very powerful gun, and the vest did the job. I just spoke to the officer, and he's doing great. He's in great shape. He has very high spirits, and we told him we love him and respect him, and he's a very proud guy. He's very proud of what he does, Secret Service agent. And we looked at all of the conditions that took place tonight, and I will say, it's not a particularly secure building, and I didn't want to say this, but this is why we have to have all of the attributes of what we're planning at the White House. It's actually a larger room, and it's much more secure. It's drone-proof, it's bulletproof glass. We need the ballroom. That's why Secret Service, that's why the military are demanding it. They've wanted the ballroom for 150 years for lots of different reasons, but today's a little bit different, because today we need levels of security that probably nobody's ever seen before.
Yep, draconian measures.
But everyone owes a tremendous debt of gratitude to the courage of law enforcement. The law enforcement, and working with the DC police, and I just spoke with the mayor, and when we're finished, the police chief is going to take over and discuss it also from their viewpoint. But they also performed exactly as they were supposed to, and you see the attacker in different positions, but you also see the attacker totally subdued and under control. So as you know, this is not the first time in the past couple of years that our republic has been attacked by a would-be assassin who sought to kill. In Butler, Pennsylvania, less than 2 years ago, you all know that story, and in Palm Beach, Florida, a few months after that. We came close. We really had, again, we had some great work done by law enforcement. But in light of this evening's events, I asked that all Americans recommit with their hearts in resolving our difference peacefully. We have to resolve our differences. I will say, you had Republicans, Democrats, Independents, Conservatives, liberals and progressives. Those words are interchangeable perhaps, but maybe they're not. But yet everybody in that room, big crowd, record-setting crowd. There was a record-setting group of people, and there was a tremendous amount of love and coming together. I watched, and I was very, very impressed by that. But First Lady and I were taken very well care of very quickly, rushed off the stage. Vice President J.D. Vance was here, was likewise beautifully done. He was just saying how quickly everybody acted, law enforcement, Secret Service in particular in this case, but law enforcement. Marco had the same thing. Pete was there. Pete didn't want any help. He didn't want anybody to help. He doesn't want anybody to help him, but he did get some, didn't you? And I think you also said that it was very impressive. So with that, I'd like to ask Todd Blanche to come up, say a few words, and tell you it's already underway. The man has been captured. They're going to his apartment. I guess he lives in California, and he's a sick person, a very sick person, and we don't want things like this.
Yep, and real quick, once again, they're gonna use all of this, and this is just one of many things to come. You know, we know Esau doing the same playbook, but they're gonna use all this to bring draconian measures, you know, more harsh laws, you know, and quote unquote for your security. But really what they're trying to do is enslave the whole world, man. This digital AI infrastructure, everything, you know. So we know what Esau doing. He getting ready to come down with great wrath, shut shit down, shut the cities down, lock everything down, permanent lockdowns, you know. And more things are going to happen.
We can ask, I guess we can take a couple of questions. I want to thank the First Lady that was a rather traumatic experience for her. There was a lot of action taking place up there very quickly. But again, the response time was really incredible. And we're going to reschedule, we're going to do it again. We're not going to let anybody take over our society. We're not going
He said we're going to reschedule, we're going to do it again.
to cancel things out because we can't do that. We wanted to stay tonight. I will tell you, I fought like hell to stay. But it was protocol that said, please, sir, because they didn't know there was a lot of action going on, and they didn't know could there be probably a lone shooter, but we'll find out. We'll find out very quickly. They have it very well under control. So I want to thank everybody very much, and Todd Blanche, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Tonight you saw the very worst and the very best of this country. You saw the very worst by the actions of that coward that the President just talked about. But you also saw the very best because you saw law enforcement do exactly what they're supposed to do. And you'll see the videos come out, I expect, very shortly, and you'll see law enforcement do exactly what we want them to do. And so I echo what President Trump just said, that we are extraordinarily grateful and appreciative of the men and women of law enforcement that did their jobs tonight, including one who was injured. This investigation is ongoing. I expect you will see charges filed shortly. The charges should be self-evident given the conduct, but as you'll hear, there will be multiple charges around the shooting, around the possession of firearms, and anything else that we can get on this guy. The investigation is obviously ongoing and just started. There's federal law enforcement already working on search warrants and doing their job, and I don't want to get ahead of them and don't want to get ahead of the work that they're doing even as we speak. Director Patel and I were just on the crime scene a short while ago, and everybody in this room should rest assured that the Metropolitan Police Department, the FBI, Secret Service, everybody's on the scene doing their job. I know that the police chief is going to give an update from the scene as soon as we're finished here, and I obviously will lead the details of what they have learned to him. But in the meantime, I just want to thank everybody in this room for the courage, and I want to thank President Trump for his words, and I promise you, justice will be served. Thank you, Dr. Patel.
Thank you, General. Thank you, Mr. President. The President's absolutely right. You saw the best resolve of American law enforcement because you, Mr. President, inspire them 24/7, 365. You give them the resources that they need, and they know that you have their back. And that is a changing dynamic in this country, and that's why you saw brave Secret Service agents respond immediately, swiftly, subdue and take down the suspect, and safeguard the lives of thousands of individuals at that hotel. Thanks to our interagency partnership with the Department of Homeland Security.
Let me just bring something in real quick. 1 Peter 4:7, but the end of all things is at hand. Be ye therefore sober and watch unto prayer. So the end of everything that you know, at the end of this world is at hand. And we know Esau, his plan is to get a new world order, one world government, which is going to be draconian, very harsh laws in play, which, everything, once again, the world is a stage. All right. They getting ready to roll out this new world order, man. All right.
Any information whatsoever related to this event, 1-800-CALL-FBI. 1-800-CALL-FBI. No piece of information is too small. No piece of information is inadequate. We will evaluate it all. We will also be conducting interviews of those that were there. And if any of those individuals have information, please come forward to law enforcement or the FBI or the Metropolitan Police Department. We will be examining this individual's background thoroughly. That process has already started. And we are going to ensure that he was either a lone wolf actor or anyone else that was responsible. We will analyze all evidence immediately to make sure that we safeguard this country. Mr. President, Mr. Vice President, thank you for your leadership. Attorney General and Homeland Secretary Merlin, thank you for your partnership in law enforcement.
Yep. So we're going to see what they really say
Okay,
soon.
we'll do a couple and then we go to the chief.
All right. So they taking questions. So there you have it, man. Continue to watch as well as pray. I'm going to let this play out. See what questions he take. But once again, persecution is on the rise. We at the end of everything, as you know. Esau is the end of the world. All right, so we've been telling you this shit's gonna heat up. All right, yep. Be not ignorant of Satan's devices.
Sorts of threats. In that moment, when you realized there was a threat, and service agents were telling us to get down, can you describe what was going through your mind, how you were feeling in that moment?
That's a very good question, actually. It's always shocking when something like this happens. Happened to me a little bit, and that never changes. The fact, we were sitting right next to each other, First Lady, am I right? And I heard a noise and sort of thought it was a tray. I thought it was a tray going down. I've heard that many times, and it was a pretty loud noise. And it was from quite far away. He hadn't breached the area at all. They really got him. But, so it was quite far away, but it was a gun. And some people really understood that pretty quickly, other people didn't. I was watching to see what was happening. Probably should have gone down even faster. Melania was very cognizant, I think, of what happened. I think she knew immediately what happened. She was saying, that's a bad noise. And we were whisked away along with other people, but we were really whisked away. And again, the performance of the Secret Service and the police, all of the law enforcement, I thought was really good. So it was very quick. There wasn't a lot of time to be thinking, because it was a matter of seconds before we were out the door and gone into an area. We very much, and you wanted to too, we very much wanted to continue it, because I don't like to let these sick people, these thugs, these horrible, horrible people, change the fabric of our life, change the course of what we do. So we held out. You were there. We held out right till the end, but they didn't want to take a chance, and I understand there was protocol. But we're going to be doing one hopefully within the next 30 days or sooner, and I am ready, willing, and able. And I was all set to really rip it. And I said to my people, this would be the most inappropriate speech ever made if I said one. So I'll have to save it. I don't know if I could ever be as rough as I was going to be tonight. I think I'm going to be probably very nice. I'll be very boring the next time, but we're going to have a great event. And you did a fantastic job. Thank you very much. Peter, go ahead.
Thank you, President Trump. There's a report in the New York Post that this assailant assembled his weapon somewhere on site at the hotel. What do you think about that? And I ask respectfully, why do you think this keeps happening to you?
Well, you know, I've studied assassinations, and I must tell you, the most impactful people, the people that do the most, you take a look at the people, Abraham Lincoln, I mean, you go through the people that have gone through this, where they got them. But the people that do the most, the people that make the biggest impact, they're the ones that they go after. They don't go after the ones that don't do much because they like it that way. And when you look at the people that have either, whether it was an attempt or a successful attempt, they're very impactful people. Just take a look at the names there, the big names. And I hate to say I'm honored by that, but I've done a lot. We've done a lot. We've taken this country, and we were a laughing stock for years, and now we're the hottest country anywhere in the world. We've changed this country, and there are a lot of people that are not happy about that. So I think that's the answer, Peter.
And after Butler, your team for a while rethought outdoor events.
Yeah.
Do you think that you now need to rethink
No,
indoor?
well, but then you just don't do events. No, I can't do that. I have to, it is what it is. We have to do it. The room was very, very secure. You know, he charged from 50 yards away, so he was very far away.